Welcome to the Process Podcast. My name is Chris, your host for today. Goodbye, Ed. And today we are talking about journalism. Now, as a person who covers the podcast and telling people about their stories, I really wanted to get perspective of someone whose profession is to cover a story and to honor the subject and to be true about what they're saying, because that's what journalism is. So we bring in Oscar Liu, who is a Hong Kong native, and he is a journalist for local news outlets here. And he's going to talk to us about his own fitness journey, about what journalism is like, about his relationship with the beauty of Hong Kong culture. It's an exciting story about himself and about the things that he's covering. So let's begin. Welcome to the show, Oscar. How are you doing today?
I'm feeling good after I just finished a long traveling, and then feeling good, feeling energetic, and ready to take some questions.
Well, we were talking about that before we started recording, but you did just come back from a 3-week holiday. So first of all, are you feeling pretty jet lagged? You feeling okay? Are you in a haze?
I'm feeling quite good actually, because there was an unexpected delay last night.
Mm-hmm.
And then that 4-hour delay, I sleep at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
And then I woke up at the right time. So I don't have much of a jet lag this time.
Okay. And for those curious, where did you head off to for your holiday?
I went to Scandinavia. I head on to Finland, Sweden, Denmark, and my last leg was Germany.
Okay.
So I just like touring around, just doing some touristy stuff with my backpack, hopping in hostel, hopping in gyms, just enjoy life to leave Hong Kong for a little bit.
Right on. I have to ask, did you end up going to Iceland then?
Oh, Iceland will be my next destination.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because there is a very famous, CrossFit gym there at the Reykjavik, right? But in your trips, was this your first time in those countries?
Yes, I try to travel as many European countries as I can, because I used to want to go there right after graduations, but shit happens.
Yeah, sure. You can say whatever the hell you want.
Okay, but shit happens. Like you need to work, you have student loans, you need to find a job right away, and then like you cannot do long holiday like this.
Okay,
after that, and then now I'm working for like almost 18 years, so I can plan well on my holidays, how to use them. Yeah, it's all good. Whenever there's a chance, I try to travel some countries I've never been to.
Yeah,
so to experience the culture, the society there.
Okay, so you want to be as immersed as possible in the countries that you visit and kind of what the culture locally is all about.
Yes, that's all it's all about, because like you don't ride a husky sled in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
And then you don't see the Northern Lights in Hong Kong per se. So that is some unique experience. I really want to capitalize my holiday to experience all of that.
Nice. Well, I mean, this will be a perfect time to kind of get to know you through for our audience. Just quickly, I already said your name, but introduce yourself and what you do for a living and why you think I asked you to be on the podcast today.
My name is Oscar. I was born and raised in Hong Kong. I've been a journalist for 18 years in Hong Kong. And the reason Chris invited me to this amazing podcast today, I think is we have similar background. We do CrossFit. And also I've been through a drastic transformation in the past few months. So I'm proud of myself. And then I need to find a way to carry the momentum on.
Awesome. All those things and more, right? Like we did connect initially on Instagram of all places through CrossFit. I didn't look through our messages, but we've exchanged messages about doing CrossFit in Hong Kong for quite a while. So this is our first actual face-to-face meeting.
Yes, it's so weird.
Yeah, I know. It's the whole thing of like when you know someone online and then you meet them in person, it's like, wait a minute, I know you, but I don't know you.
Yeah.
Get those willies out and everything. It's all good. But in terms of your background, I come from a writing background as well, not journalism. Like I studied literature and writing at university. And I did intern at San Diego City Beat. It was a local renegade newspaper in San Diego. So the practice of journalism, I quite respect and revere. I think it's a very important profession in this day and age, especially, and maybe we'll get into that when we talk about your journalism and the things that you're pursuing now. But yeah, also, like you mentioned, you've had quite the transformation over the last year, was it?
Yeah, I started my journey last September, and then I just finished a cycle
Yeah.
in January
Okay.
before I head on to my trip.
Nice. And I think if we're looking at just the raw numbers, like what was the comparison before your transformation journey to right now? I think I saw it in an Instagram post, but I don't remember the specifics.
So I started I'm quite overweighted, and then I think I started at almost 98 kilograms.
98.
And then 5 months later, I dropped down to 78 kilograms. So I lost 20 kilograms in 20 weeks.
Okay.
And the percentage drop is exactly 20%.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. And we were doing some training here at Coastal Fitness this morning, and one of the training bumper plates was 20 kilograms. So I very much specifically remember picking that up and knowing, the weight of that.
That's exactly how I feel, because my backpack is also weigh 20 kilograms.
Awesome. Nice. Well, congratulations on going through that journey and kind of continuing onward with the progress there. But let's get started on the first and foremost thing is about you and your journalism. So walk me through here, like where did you start your journalism story? And I did ask you this beforehand because I was hoping to get as accurate of an answer as possible. Do you remember your first published story as a journalist?
Actually, I don't remember.
Okay.
I started in 2008 at a TV station in Hong Kong. So I'm not a journalism student. I study at the Hong Kong Baptist University in communication major. I specialize in PR and advertising. I've been worked. My first job was in an advertising agency, but I don't like it. I don't like it as much because it didn't feel like what the study told me what the industry was like.
I see.
Because like I didn't feel as much creative input as my position as an advertising person should be. I'm dealing with a lot of like back and forth emails, a lot of I feel like a sandwich between my team and the clients.
Okay, kind of like some background grunt work.
Yeah, I feel like a messenger.
Okay.
More than a creative person. And then I feel like, oh, that may not be my calling.
Okay.
So I was just like looking for some other opportunities in career. I didn't know what to do, what the future would be like for me. And then I just like, as a lot of like fresh graduate, we tend to send out massive amount of application letters.
Just to anyone.
Yeah. And then the TV station got back and I had the interview, and the interviewer was a quite famous journalist himself. I remember he asked me questions like, do you love watching TV? I was like, yes, why?
Sure.
And then he told me to talk about a TV program I was recently watching. And then I just told him the story, and then he told me like, love watching TV and looking for information is a good quality of a journalist.
Okay.
And then he loved my language ability, so I was in. So I was hired as a anchor and reporter trainee.
Yeah.
So the first assignment I was on was in a wet market because there was a H5N1 outbreak.
Oh wow. Okay.
So I was at the wet market following my senior reporter to see how he did things. So that was my vivid experience because I have no clue what to do because I don't know how it should be to be a news story. How it should be to be a TV news package. I had no clue at all. So my first publication, I think, is just international news translation in Chinese with my voiceover in. That's why I don't specifically remember what the publication is, but the vivid memory of mine is going to the wet market, not knowing what to do.
So that was kind of like really just being immersed in the practice of journalism, following this reporter that I guess it seems like you're kind of an understudy for, and kind of seeing how he does things. And what were the things that like jumped out to you about the practice of journalism in terms of asking questions, meeting people, getting the answers that you're looking for, getting the answers that you think the public deserves, stuff like that?
Yeah, at that time, I didn't know the importance. I just saw it as a job.
I see.
To make a living, to pay the bills.
Yeah.
But as time went on, I was in the office a lot to translate international news. And just to find something makes sense to local audience. Because like the presidential elections in the US, like people knows Hillary Clinton, but they don't necessarily know Bernie Sanders.
Okay.
So our practice is to write more things relevant to local audience. So we naturally focus more on Hillary than Bernie.
Sure.
Yeah, that's the way I put it, because I read a lot, but to take things from the original report to write it your own language,
Right.
and present it in a different way.
Yeah.
That's how I started my career.
Basically, not just localizing the language, but localizing the information, right? Where if Bernie Sanders, and we're talking about like the 2016 election here,
Yeah, I know.
and the Democratic Party primaries, being able to have a person from Hong Kong understand what Bernie Sanders, for example, stands for, right? Where he's trying to talk about taking wealth away from the 1% and redistributing this into our social networks, and our policies to be able to bring up everyone in the public, like that kind of idea, distilling that information to your local Hong Konger, right?
Yes.
Okay. So in this, I guess, in this practice at the wet market, and I guess in general, as you got more experience, what is it about journalism that you love and resonates with you?
I mean, like, I love a good storytelling. I mean, like, Hong Kong people are really impatient in terms of reading informations.
Okay.
So
Well,
because
when you say impatient, what do you mean by that? Like give me
yeah,
an
because
example.
like information is free.
Yep.
And you can get your information through some legitimate news outlets as well as social media.
Sure.
So they tend to have a really low attention span. They want to get the most information in the most short period of time.
Okay.
And then like that's what fascinates me, because how can you use a legitimate platform to capture the attention of the audience in the shortest amount of time?
Okay.
And use your storytelling skill to capture those audience to stay longer, to get more.
Right.
And that fascinates me. And the other reason is that the journalism seems to be like, oh, you keep writing every day, but in everyday news are different every day.
Right.
So you have different news. Even the same news story will have different developments. I love the fact that we are not doing the same thing every single day. And then when the day is off, okay, everything is off. The next day you carry on the new stuff.
Right. Like every day is a new adventure.
Yeah, but like in other corporate job, I believe you have some job linger for days or weeks.
Yeah.
So the next day, oh, I need to deal with this again.
Right,
I need to deal with that again.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's not a bad thing, but to me, it's more exciting to encounter new things every single day.
I wanted to quickly interrupt this episode with a quick shout out to our sponsors, Today Well Spent. I've been using this journal for 2 years and it has made a massive impact on my physical, but mostly my mental well-being. It is a guided journal backed by neuro and behavioral science, which I actually didn't know at the time. It has questions for you to answer at the start of the day, at the end of the day, end of every week, end of every month. And it's brought so much self-awareness to me of the things that positively and negatively impact my life. So if you're someone who cares about your physical and your mental well-being, which I think you do because you listen to this podcast, then go and grab yourself a Today Well Spent. Use the discount code THEPROCESS, one word in capitals, to get your discount.
Okay. And one of the things that strikes me, and it might be just because you're more prone to sharing it in your own social media, but one of the common subjects that you do cover is sports, fitness, and wellness, right? I'm thinking just looking back, you covered High Rocks races, which we have, here in Hong Kong, at least once, twice a year, as well as something like just a local calisthenics club, right? So to me, at least, it seems like you have connected your personal passion of fitness and wellness with your profession of journalism. Can you talk me how those two came together and what that's like for you?
Actually, it was a coincidence because my job duty is cover local news, specifically in macroeconomics, like transportation, retail, tourism, and aviation, etc., etc. It's pretty hard stuff. And an opportunity came in because the video team of my company said they want to do a series about Hong Kong to captivate more younger readers.
Right.
And it is in video form. And I was like, okay, what some topic would be interesting to some other audience, which is not hard news all the time.
Sure.
So we are like brainstorming what topics may be interesting with my team. And then I just naturally come up with some fitness related story, because people may not know there's a group of people, they love to work out in a local park. They may not necessarily know what high rocks is. So I think it's a interesting thing to bring those topic to introduce it, to try the things what the athletes do, to show the audience what they are about.
Yeah, one thing that did stick out from that reporting is, if you're a news reporter, you don't necessarily have to be involved in the story, but that was something that you always do. I remember specifically the High Rocks one stood out to me because one of the reasons is because you did come here to Coastal Fitness, and Tammy was the High Rocks coach for that course, for that class that day, and she ran you through the simulation. And you're on the ski erg, you're rowing, you're pushing the sled.
And thank you, Jesus, she didn't put me through the running.
Yeah, I mean, it was a tough go, and you look like you had a pretty tough workout, and you weren't, I don't think you were required to do that, but it sounds like you wanted to be able to show your audience that this is something that they could also participate in as well. So that part is important to you.
Yes, because like I feel like if you are not being in that experience, it's hard to persuade the audience what it is about. Because like I think personal touches is always nice to be in story, but I may not necessarily have the chance to do it in my written pieces.
I see.
So the video become a very good outlet for me to show what the topic is about. And also when you're in it, you tend to have more passion to write about it.
I see. There's more skin in the game.
Yeah.
And then like even in just looking at your daily life, you are documenting, you had documented your own transformation journey of losing 20 kilograms. Just kind of walk us through that a little bit of what went into your decision to do that. I mean, and documenting it, was that important? And is there a level of you wanted to inspire people to be able to do that as well? Like, just walk me through your thoughts of that transformation journey.
I grew up as a chubby kid the whole time. I do not do exercise except some volleyballs in school.
Okay.
So losing the weight has always been my focus, but I was so scared to get involved in the gym. But funny enough, I started my fitness journey as a CrossFit gym in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
So the reason is I don't know. I don't know how to put it, because like on social media or online, people tends to post their photos like, okay, I'm doing this, I'm doing that.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. I don't necessarily feel comfortable
posing and flexing
in those environments.
Yeah.
That's number one. I don't know what to do in a gym with a lot of machines that I don't know. Number two, and I didn't have the financial power to hire
a personal trainer,
and I don't know. I don't want to be going into a gym with no clue of what I'm doing, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So I was watching a lot of American TV. I saw the gym. I saw the gym in the TV. It's like, oh, there's no mirror. Oh, there's no machine. It sounds really funny.
The way the CrossFit gym is laid out.
Yes, I didn't know that is CrossFit or like HIIT, whatever it called back then. Yeah. I just feel fascinated because there's only rowing machine. Oh, they have a box. They have a thingy they are flipping around. I know it's kettlebell now. Back then I didn't know what it is. I just see them like flicking the thing, and then I was like, oh, it's really funny. And then like I saw one of my cousins and one of my coworkers doing similar exercise in Hong Kong. So I just asked them what that is about, and then they told me, oh, it's CrossFit, it's CrossFit gym, it's quite new. I think it was quite new back in 2016 in Hong Kong.
Yeah, sure. That was even before my time. So
yeah, I was like, okay, let's give it a try to see everything. But as a local resident, I am well aware of the bad practice gym to force you to pay for a package.
I see.
And during the free trial day, I intentionally didn't bring any money and credit card.
Good.
And then I just tried. And then I was like, they let me go.
Okay.
I was like, after the session, they let me go. And
There's like
told
no
me,
pressure.
Yeah. And then I was like, I was dying during the workout. I think I just skipped for 3 minutes during the warm-up. I want to puke already because I
Sounds about
haven't
right.
done intense exercise for a long
Yeah.
time. I mean, for my life, actually.
Mm.
And then after that sessions, I was like dying, want to puke the whole time. And then the coach came to me, he's like, oh, you still have 2 more sessions in 2 weeks. I was like, oh, that's it?
Yeah.
You don't need me to purchase anything? And then, okay. And then I feel like it's quite a good exercise. Number one, in an hour, you did a lot.
Mhm.
And number two, which is the best part to me, because I'm clueless on what fitness regime should be.
Mhm.
And you just follow a coach and doing the same thing with a group of people.
Yeah.
And then you don't need to like, oh, today I need to train here, to next day I need to train there. And then, okay, they got it covered.
Mhm.
I don't need to worry about that.
Right.
So that's how I started CrossFit. Funny enough, and then I'm still doing it because like I'm not the most persistent person in the world.
Mhm.
And I didn't expect I will stay for 8 years for that long. I'm doing CrossFit for on and off like 8 years.
And where are you working out of? Shout out your gym.
So my gym is Fitness Academy in Quarry Bay.
Okay.
And thank you, Fitness Academy.
Right on. Shout out Fitness Academy.
Yeah. And then like during my CrossFit journey, I have an intention to get my weight under control.
Yeah.
Say because my parents are diabetic, so I
Okay.
have a pretty high chance to get it.
Right.
So doing exercise is one way the doctor said to prevent the opportunities to get it genetically.
Right.
So during the first 3 months, I lost like 28 pounds
Mhm.
without changing my eating habit.
Right.
And then I saw, oh, it works.
Right.
So the next thing is like, okay, let's quit cigarette once and for all. Back then I was like smoking for almost 15 years. I was like,
How
okay,
heavy of a smoke? Like, how long would it take you to get through a pack of cigarettes?
a day.
Just a day. Okay. So a pretty tried and true smoker at that point.
Yeah. And then I was like, okay, let's seek for some free help from the government.
Uh-huh.
And then they give me some nicotine patches. And
Really?
then I was like, okay, let's try to cut it.
Yeah.
But I was so cranky with the withdrawal symptoms.
Sure.
And then my colleagues are kind enough to buy me snacks
Mhm.
to get away with the withdrawal symptoms.
Mhm.
Okay, at the end, I really didn't touch cigarette anymore. I gained back 40 pounds. And
Oh,
then
wow.
the coach told me like, oh, it's a good trade-off. It's a good trade-off. You can lose weight again.
Yeah.
And then I was like, during the CrossFit journey, you exposed to a whole new world. You
Mhm.
want to learn everything. You want to know everything. So internet is the natural place you go to. You saw a lot of like nutrition regimen, training programs, and so on and so forth. So after a while, I tried okay, let's put it this way.
Zone diet?
No, I'm not doing zone diet. I was like, okay, I started CrossFit in 2016,
Mhm.
and then I did my first competition in Thailand in 2018
Oh, nice. Okay.
with an intention to experience the vibe, not aiming on winning anything,
Right.
just aiming not being the last.
Sure.
But I was in the last place, but it's okay. I met a bunch of friends there.
Like the goal was to put yourself out there on the competition environment and see what that's like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are a lot of expats living in Thailand joined that competition. I met a friend called, I forgot his name.
Good friend, that one.
I'm nervous in the camera situation. So a friend from the USA talked to me. We get really close, and then he talked to me about the Renaissance periodization thing. But then I have no clue what that is.
Renaissance periodization. Yeah. I had a client who went on to move to training as well as nutrition guidance through RP.
Yeah, and then he did bought me the templates.
Mhm.
I was like, oh, you're so kind. I was like, you bought me the templates. There's no reason I didn't try it.
Yeah.
And then I try, it lists out I need to eat how many meals a day,
Yep.
how much protein I need, how much carbs I need. I was like, I don't want to mess up. I eat like chicken breast, broccoli, and rice for the whole 3 months.
Okay.
It was boring.
Yeah, like I was gonna ask, like, how sustainable was that habit?
Yeah. I mean, like back then, it's quite sustainable. You know, in Hong Kong, we have small kitchens. You cannot be like meal prepping for a large quantity.
Right.
But I try my best in my capacity to do it, and then I lost 30 pounds again.
Mhm.
And then there is what's that called? Maintaining stage.
Yeah.
I messed that up
How so?
because I went to Thailand for a course for a month,
Mhm.
and then they gave me the macros I need to hit, but
Right.
like when you're in Thailand, food is so accessible.
Mhm.
So I was like, okay, let me just focus on more veggies, more meat, and less rice.
Yeah.
And that's my mentality. But boom, the weight came back.
Oh, okay. So you're telling me a history of kind of weight going up and down pretty haphazardly throughout.
Yeah. Because I realized CrossFit is a good exercise,
Sure.
but at the point I realized the more I train,
Mhm.
the more I eat uncontrollably.
Okay. So bring us to this past year, right? You said last September was when you started this and you've lost 20 kilograms. What was different about this time around than back then?
This time around, I am already in my 40s.
Yep.
So I'm in my early 40s. I'm 42 this year.
Mhm.
So I was like, okay, it's easier to do it in your early 40s than your late 40s. Because like, I don't know if you're older, I think things will be a little bit more difficult
to change things.
to change things, and then your body may not respond
I see.
to the dieting or training as well as you're younger.
Right. As our body slows down, our rate of adaptation also slows.
Yeah. So I just like scroll, and when you scroll through Instagram, there's a lot of like transformation gym.
Oh yeah.
And then I remember I sent a message to one of them. I don't want to name names.
Mhm.
And then like they give me a very long standardized AI chatbot
Oh,
answer.
Great.
I just asked, you said there is a consultation. I
Yeah.
would like to know if we do it virtually or in person.
Mhm.
And they send me a message. Oh, the price.
Yeah.
Oh, you will get this and get that.
Yeah.
And then I don't get the answer I wanted. And then when I was in a chiropractic visit, because he is more knowledgeable on this, I was like, hey, how about those transformation gym? Do you know things about them?
Mhm.
And he just told me they are all legit. It's just down to the location you want and the price. And then, okay, if that one doesn't reply me, I just opt for another one. And then I saw another one with my friend's pictures on the top, which is pinned on the Instagram page. So I was just like, okay, let me just ask my friend what this is about.
Sure.
And then he is a busy dad with 2 kids, and then he travels a lot for his work. And then he has a remarkable result on the photos. I just asked, like, he told me it's just hard work. And then it just like, you follow the program, you follow the nutrition program, you follow the training, and the result will come.
Yeah.
So, and then that's why I was like introduced by him to a coach called James Chester from Hit PT. So we talk about this, and then he laid down the fundamentals, like how many macros you need to eat, how much training you need to do, and then how much water you need to drink, etc. I just followed the program, and then like I didn't expect to lose 20 kilos.
Did you have a set expectation walking into it?
I was like 98. I was like, it would be nice if I can go down to 80 to make my BMI looks better. I know BMI is not the standard, but like, I don't want to go to the doctor visit and they told me the BMI is high all the time.
Right.
I know that's not the standard, but I don't want to listen to that.
Yeah, sure. And also, it's just like you said, you know, you come from a family where diabetes can occur, and I think you're talking about type 2 diabetes.
Yes.
Right. Because my father's side of the family, they also had a lot of type 2 diabetes as well, and that was one of my main like motivators to staying fit as I get older. So I totally understand why you would want to have something sustainable like that.
Yeah, and the reason I also choose the reason I want to enlist a personal trainer at a transformation gym. I don't know if it is right to call a transformation gym because they are legitimately a gym. Yeah, with all the equipments, with trainers.
Yeah, and we know of HitPT, their owner, James Campion. He's been on the podcast before, and he's talked about how he's helped a lot of people, and how he's helped himself and how his business has transformed and they're expanding. So, definitely, friends of the podcast and friends of the process they are. So, it was cool to see your transformation, like your before and after photos, on a scale of 0 being, I could do this in my sleep, to 10 as that's like the hardest thing I've ever done. This last year of losing 20 kg, how difficult was it for you?
It is a hard 11, I would say.
Okay.
Because you need to prep your food.
Yeah.
And my job is always on the go. You don't have a fixed meal time. You are not necessarily in the office all the time.
Yeah, there's I think one of the things that makes it easy for people to have good nutrition and fitness goals is if they have a life of set routine. And as a journalist, I'm only assuming you're on location all the time. Your schedule is basically set, like you said, day by day. So you can only do so much to prepare ahead.
Yeah. And so I just like other people just being a subscriber on those meal prep services.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that was easier for me because I really want to try if it works.
Yeah.
And then and then the reason I enlisted James Chester at HPT, there's another reason, because I feel like fitness has a lot of spectrum. There is no one thing better than the other. So I've been into CrossFit for like 8 years. So why don't you step out of your comfort zone to try something new?
I see.
Because like you don't know if you don't try.
Right.
Yeah, because for as long as I remember, I resisted to go to a gym with mirror. With machines.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this time is quite an eye-opening experience, because like the mirror is essentially to make sure you have the right posture.
Sure. Exactly.
And then the machines train the muscle that I never knew existed.
Yeah.
I remember James put me on the leg extension and hamstring extension.
Oh yeah.
I want to scream bloody murder because I didn't feel that sensation before.
Yeah.
In CrossFit. Because like I feel like it's quite a new experience.
Sure.
A new experience that I really need to put myself into to see if it works. Because like you can always like looking to some before and after photos and be jealous or envy about it. But if you don't take the first step, I don't think it's hard for you to see yourself. You can also achieve some result like that.
I mean, it's so funny that as a CrossFitter, you revisited the gym with all these machines and all these things that you didn't know when you hadn't gone to the gym before. And now you're having a new respect for something like a leg extension machine because, it's not like we ever use that. And it's not like we're trying to chase a PR on a leg extension, right? It's like, I got my 1 rep max in a leg extension, but it's effective, right? It's effective at isolating these specific muscles. And it's also effective in you having a serious connection to this is what the muscle does. And this is what primary engagement of that muscle feels like.
Yeah. And then one more reason is that like I've been into CrossFit for 8 years. I already passed through those chasing PR stage.
Okay, right.
Unlocking this and unlocking that stage, because like I feel like if you unlock one movement, you unlock it. If you still cannot unlock it, you're not able to unlock it in the short period of time in future.
Sure.
So why don't you try something new if you are frustrated with something that you cannot achieve? So it's also funny because like I love CrossFit. I love how effective it is.
Yeah.
I love how time saving and the community aspect of it. But it's also funny to see how one-on-one personal training could change your lifestyle, daily routine, and eating habits.
Okay. So I think I guess my question for you is, now that you've had this pretty stark transformation for the better, my question is, how does this look like in terms of down the road of this being something that's more of a lifetime sustainable habit, rather than this is where you are right now and then you slide back to bad habits months from now?
I don't want to be slipping back again because like
you've already experienced that.
Yeah, I already been there, done that.
Yeah.
No more. It's excruciating to achieve something that you lost it in a split second.
Yeah.
So I think it will be a lifelong thing for me.
Great.
I was still doing CrossFit. I was still going to Mr. James Chester to see what he can offer me more.
Yeah.
And I think with the education installed in me, I know how to do it on my own. But still along the way, you need some guidance here and there.
Right.
So I think it's only fair if financially feasible, I was still doing both.
Okay, great. And best of luck ahead, with everything in terms of your own time in the gym and maintaining, good health from your 40s into your 50s and 60s and beyond, right?
Yeah.
And seeing kind of how that goes back into journalism, does this experience kind of inspire the stories that you're going to want to cover in your journalism in the future, or the idea of getting a better understanding to how your story subjects are experiencing the world that they live in?
Yes and no, because in my companies, a topic to cover is a collective decision. So it need to be like approved by assignment editors.
I see.
So, but the experience taught me like how to went through hardship, because sometimes when you're doing journalism, you want to find a voice to support your argument.
Yeah.
They may not be able to answer your phone call to give you some nice quote.
Yeah.
To complement it.
Yeah.
I mean, like the transformation experience taught me how to be more resilient in my work too.
Sure.
Because like we pull things off even if it is a long shot.
Yeah.
So I think the fitness experience could help me to be more like adamant on something what I want.
Yeah. I mean, I think you strike a really resonant point with people. Is one of the reasons we go to the gym and do these hard things is not just to go to the gym and do these hard things, or, I mean, there is at face value in that, but it also helps us outside of the gym, right? So
Yeah,
if you're talking
totally.
about like, hard jobs, being able to overcome, challenges, at your company or at the position that you're in. If you're talking about parents, being able to be more patient with your kids and to be more resilient for the long day ahead of, the childcare you'll do on the weekend.
Yeah.
Right. It's just being tougher in general in the gym makes you a tougher person outside of it. Right.
Yeah, I feel like it, because like I feel like I gave up. How do I put it? I feel like after the fitness journey I've been through, I give up less easily.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. Like you're no longer much of a quitter as you used to be.
Yeah. Yeah. When things becomes hard, all right, let's quit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you have the bona fides to back up your ability to stay resilient, because you were able to do it in the gym with your nutrition, with all these other challenges to be able to lose 20 kg. If you could do this, you can do other things too, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to look for new opportunities, like in life.
Awesome.
In general.
Awesome. Anything that you're looking for in particular right now?
I'm trying to create my content.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't know how to get started.
Yeah.
But that is something I really want to try. My sister, who is 8 years older than me, starting a YouTube channel on cooking French food.
Okay.
Yeah, and she is having fun.
Yeah.
She may not be famous,
Sure.
but she is having fun, because like the reason I post a lot of things on social media, because I really want to capture the moment.
Sure.
With videos and photos, and also utilize my writing skills to tell story to other people.
Yeah. That's one of the things that I also wanted to ask you about is, just kind of taking the focus back onto your journalism is, and, you did say that part of the decision on what stories to cover is a team based decision. At the same time, the stories that you cover are really interesting. And the one thing that I noticed besides fitness, another thing that you cover about is local culture. I think you had a story about something like the Snake Queen of Hong Kong, something about an old tofu manufacturing shop here in Hong Kong as well. You're just covering Hong Kong, and you are born and raised in Hong Kong yourself. So is this something that is important to you to encapsulate and put something immortal of the Hong Kong story, because we can refer to these in the future, these stories?
Yes, totally. Because like news is something really important to preserve our history. So once a story is published, it will be online forever.
Yeah.
So I'm very lucky to be able to capture those moments in a legitimate news outlet and platform to reach many audience.
So, and this is the part that I respect about journalism is I sense a large weight of responsibility in that, in the sense that if, for example, this tofu shop closes one day, or this snake woman in Hong Kong,
Retired.
retires, the only thing that will remain is the stories made of these people, written by you. So do you feel a heavy sense of responsibility to get the story right, to make it accurate, to honor, the subject?
Yes, I feel like my part of my job is preserve legacy of some other people, which is really important because these people in our history was very important in shaping our culture and our society.
Right.
It's a way to honor them for me, and also other audience from outside Hong Kong will know Hong Kong more
Right.
through this like tiny little small shop story.
All right, let's go. Let's do a quick exercise here. I didn't ask you this question, so I'm going to put you on the spot. Let's say like I'm a person not from Hong Kong, not from Asia, and I have no idea what Hong Kong is like. How would you, in just so few words, explain what Hong Kong is like?
Wow, you really put me on the test. Because like if a friend never visit Hong Kong, I will ask, what do you want to see the most?
And you could find it here?
Yeah, I would try to find them.
Okay.
But in general, I would say Hong Kong is a very charming city. The pace is fast.
Yep.
And like you can get a lot of experience you can not get elsewhere. So that's what I will tell somebody outside Hong Kong. Give it a shot. Like Hong Kong needs tourists.
Yeah. Currently, what is your favorite thing about Hong Kong?
My current favorite thing about Hong Kong.
Yeah. Anything about food, about culture, about arts, about experience?
I miss Cha Chan Ting.
What's this?
I mean, like a local food cafe restaurant.
Oh, okay.
Like where you can order a satay, beef, noodle, and milk tea.
Can't you get that around the corner?
Yeah, you can get it around the corner.
Okay. And you're saying this is the perfect Hong Kong.
Yeah, the epitome of Hong Kong culinary culture.
Okay.
I would say, because I was out in Europe for 3
weeks. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I was like eating meat on meat, gravy on gravy, potato on potatoes.
Yeah.
The first thing I back to Hong Kong is order a fried rice.
Okay. So like you just missed the stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean like Hong Kong is a very convenient place. Like Hong Kong is small, and then transportation is so convenient that you can go to one place to another. And there's a ton of food choices with different price point. You can eat a fancy meal for a few $1,000, and you can eat a simple lunch for 20 Hong Kong dollars.
Yeah. I'll share one thing I love about Hong Kong that I experienced specifically was maybe like a month ago. I was being dumb and I was trying to recharge my Octopus card at a 7-Eleven, and I was able to do it, but I also bought a bunch of other things like snacks or whatever. So I set my stuff aside and I reorganized my things. And then about 2 hours later, I was here in the gym and I realized I couldn't find my wallet. And then I had that pit of my stomach feeling of like, oh, I'm pretty sure I left it somewhere. And I think I left it at the 7-Eleven, which, you know how many people go to a 7-Eleven? If they find a wallet, they're going to take it, right? So I go there and I just, in a last act of desperation, I say, look, I think I left my wallet here. This is exactly what's inside. My picture's in there because my ID's in there. And the person I was talking to didn't know any English. So then she flagged another person who knew English. And then she asked me to write my name down. And I can even say, I can describe you the things that are inside and what the wallet looks like. Sure enough, it was right in there. So, I don't know, not too long after I left, she found it and she just kept it. And I was so thankful. I went to like a fruit shop, gave them a bunch of fruit and stuff like that. And they were flat out refused it. And then I was like, I can't be refused. So I just left the fruits and everything on the table and then I left. And they just really they didn't ask for anything in return. And I've heard of this type of story of people finding things or people losing things and being pretty sure they'll never get it back. And sure enough, they got it back.
But when you experience that kindness yourself,
it's amazing. And it's just something that's like, oh man, that if there is a charm to Hong Kong, just like any other city or country, that's the charm that I personally experience, and I'm very, very thankful.
Yeah, I would say Hong Kong is a very charming city, and then people are friendly.
Yeah,
in general.
Yeah. And then I guess one last thing to close up is the idea not just Hong Kong in terms of preserving the culture, but the practice again of of your journalistic integrity, right? Making sure that the story is fair and the story is accurate and true.
Yeah, for sure.
One thing that I've noticed, and I'm sure a lot of people have as well, is that journalism is in a weird place right now, where not only is journalism being conglomerized, large media companies are purchasing small print shops, or local news outlets are being basically cannibalized by national news outlets. So there's not a lot of news stories anymore for the local regions. And also everyone's kind of their own reporter if they want to be. You can have YouTube or Instagram and people can report the news as they see it and might not have the same journalistic practice as you might have with fact checking and everything like that. Where do you think journalism is right now? And for you to express, what is the importance of journalism in our society, especially today?
Yeah, I mean, journalism is very important in Hong Kong to capture what is really happening in multi-dimensional angles for readers to explore different side of a story. I would not say those self-proclaimed reporters are wrong, because that's the way they preserve history and their way to what should I say? The way they put a view on certain things.
Yeah.
That may not necessarily wrong in that sense, but it also provides an angle to their viewers to think twice whether it's trustworthy, whether it is credible, or whether they want to pursue that side of angle. I think the self-proclaimed journalists also provide a sense of importance for people to fact check themselves.
I see. So you actually appreciate self.
I do, because honestly, you don't need to have a journalism degree to be a journalist. You need to be a person with news sense, a person with decent writing skills or speaking skills to tell a story. But whether the story is solid is based on your research and based off of your years of experience, so on and so forth, to make it make it more compelling.
I see. I mean, and I guess that's kind of what your job is going to be day in, day out, is giving a compelling story of the truth, of your culture, of the things that you are passionate about.
Yeah, true.
So Oscar, if people want to know more about you, where can we find you, for example, on Instagram?
Yeah.
What is your handle on Instagram?
What's my handle? What is my handle?
I'm pretty sure I did my homework. It's I am OSCARLIU.
Yes, that is
Oscar
correct.
Liu, right?
That is correct.
Boom.
Yeah, you can hit me up on Instagram if you're interested.
Yes, and I know, I mean, like you said, a lot of your stories are formatted for Instagram in the form of reels, this, that, and the other. You can Google him as well if you want to see the articles that not only he starred in, but also wrote.
Yeah, I'm searchable on Google.
Yeah, so find him, and I guess you can find him at Fitness Playground. You can find him at Hit PT.
No, I'm on Fitness Academy.
Fitness Academy. I'm so sorry. There is a Fitness Playground, isn't there? Fitness Academy, and Alan Tsai, right?
Yeah, Alan Tsai.
Yeah, so sorry, Alan.
But Fitness Playground is also a very good gym in Kowloon.
Yeah. I'm from the mainland, so my knowledge of local gyms is always mixed up and everything like that. So thanks for fact checking me, reporter. And anything like that. I mean, I look forward to the next physical challenge that you'll immerse yourself in for the good of the story. There are ultra marathons in Hong Kong, so if we see you next year doing the 100K trails, that would be great content to see.
Yeah, let's put it on record. I don't like running.
For now. Hashtag hybrid athlete. All right, Oscar, thank you so much for being on the show. And it was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Before we say goodbye, here's one crazy statistic for you. Did you know that almost 40% of people who listen to the show don't actually subscribe to it? Now, I didn't think that was a big deal until I actually learned about the power of hitting subscribe. For you, the listener, you get to stay up to date when we drop episodes on a weekly basis. But for us as a podcast, it really helps our visibility and helps us attract great brands and great listeners to help grow this podcast. So if you enjoyed this episode or you're a big fan of the show, please do us a massive favor and hit subscribe. Thank you so much.